What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So this video is going to be about classic alternate and wall bouncing with it, and I'm gonna show you guys my controller settings as well. I'm gonna edit that in as well so you guys can see like my controller settings, my sensitivity, all that stuff. I'm gonna show you my sensitivity real quick, and then I'll edit in like my actual elite controller in as well. So I'll give you guys a little background story on classic alternate when I switched to it, and like how I came about it. So I switched to classic alternate Gears of War 4 probably like a week or two in. So like the first couple of days I just came back. I literally quit Gears of War playing video games period for like 2 years, 2+ years, and I came back. I came back hitting shots. I always been able to hit shots on the game, but I kept misrolling a lot and I got tired of it. And so I was like, I knew of classic alternate, I've heard of classic alternate, I wanted to try it out. I tried it out like with a regular default controller, and it was a no-go for me because I played thumbs default and it was way too hard. So I found out about elite controller, got an elite controller, and decided to get paddles. So I made the switch with paddles and classic alternate at the exact same time, and it was definitely hard at the first couple of days. Wall bouncing at first on classic alternate, it seems kind of hard. Sometimes you can't grab a wall and it can be pretty frustrating, but after some time you'll get used to it. It's definitely so much better to play on classic alternate versus like regular default. Some say it's cheating, but obviously not. If it were, then everybody would be able to do it. It's definitely hard to get used to, so don't expect greatness the first couple of days. It took me about 2 weeks to actually get used to it. It definitely took me some time. It took me 2 weeks to actually get it down really well. Like the first couple of days were hell. Don't stress it. Like a lot of people that come to my stream and say like, oh, I can't grab any walls, I stand there mid-fight, like classic alternate is so hard, I don't know how you do it. But people always wonder how I do it. Like the first thing I always wanted to show people, like I said, like you gotta have patience. That's the number one thing. You're gonna have to have patience, especially if you buy an elite controller. Elite controller is pretty expensive. It's $150, especially if you get paddles, or maybe you have one. Hopefully you already have one. If not, maybe you make the jump. But like I said, I bought mine from Best Buy. Buy it from somewhere that has a return policy. You don't want to buy it for somewhere and spend $150, and like what if you don't fully commit. So make sure you get that in. I had that in my head like already. Like, all right, I'm gonna buy this controller. I have 14 days to return it. If I don't get used to it within 14 days, I'm gonna return it and just go back to thumbs. Like no big deal. I get my money back. At least I tried. So that was my mindset on it. Make sure you get it for somewhere that has a return policy, just in case you are gonna get it. But all right, back to wall bouncing. So like the first thing I always tell people to do is hold up on your left stick and camera bounce. So what I mean by that, so you're gonna see on the controller right here, hold left, right? So you're gonna hold left, just straight the entire time, and then you're gonna use your camera to go left and right. So that's the quickest way to learn wall bouncing at first. Hitting shots on it are gonna be kind of hard at first. I don't really wall bounce like this, but this is like how you're gonna get used to the wall bouncing and get used to like the timing and everything. So you gotta do this first. This is my opinion on how to do it. So do it right now. So look, left stick, and then just camera bounce, left and right, left and right, left and right, left and right. That's it. It's that simple. I make it looks so easy, and it is. Like some people will get it down pretty quick, some will won't get it down right away. So it just takes time. Like I said, have patience with this, and I've been playing for this with this setting for like 2+ years already. So like it comes natural to me already. So but it's easy. You can see it by my controller. I'm not doing nothing special, just left and right, and have the timing down. The timing is gonna be what could be the difference maker right away. So look, I should be able to spin all the way around. I can also probably do a circle bounce. I'll show you how to do a circle bounce as well. But that's pretty much like the basics of classic alternate. You gotta learn that first. Once you learn that first, you're gonna use your left stick. You're gonna throw in your left stick. You don't have to like do left and right completely. You do like a little bit of an angle. So like that's why sometimes people call it like an angle bounce. So use your left and right stick like that, and then you're gonna use your camera at the same time. So look, this becomes a little bit more of a hyper bounce. So look. Get it down. There you go. So that's pretty much hyper bounce. Like it'll make you just wall bounce a little bit quicker. There you go. On PC it feels so different. There you go. There you go. You're right there. Also, I like to hold my left paddle, so which is X. Oh yeah, I forgot to explain that as well. So like on the controller camera, or the controller emulator, whatever it's called, honestly I don't know what it's called, but either way, on this right here, this is not an actual button press. This is actual paddle press. They don't have a emulator where it shows the actual the gamepad viewer. I think that's what it's called. Gamepad viewer, that's what it's called. They don't have a gamepad viewer that has paddles enabled and you can't see the paddles in the back. So X, that's my left paddle on X right there, and then A, when you see me pressing A, this is my right paddle. So it's my right paddle being pressed, and this is my left paddle being pressed. But alright, back to the other part. So pretty much after that, once you get that down, you have those two down, that becomes a little bit more advanced. Throwing in the left stick, it's going to take a little bit more time to get used to it. You can see that. So like I like holding X and A when I do it sometimes. So I let go of it, holding it down, and then I feel like it makes it smoother. I could be wrong, but maybe it's just a mental thing, I guess, maybe. But I like using it. So like right here, like, you can get in between two walls and get used to like wall bouncing left and right, left and right, left and right. This is how you can get used to your left stick. This is how I wall bounce most of the time now too, left and right stick. I don't really camera bounce too much, but you definitely want to use that at the beginning to get used to the timing. But then get on two walls and then get used to using left and right stick. You can go a little bit faster if you want, and then it becomes some crazy hyper bounce. That's pretty much the basics of that. Like I don't know, like once you get used to that, like I wouldn't suggest camera bouncing too much. Just get used to just your left stick most of the time, because I like keeping my screen at a standstill. Like you'll see I won't move my camera at all, and like it'll just stay there. So like somebody's like straight ahead of me and they're like trying to walk up, boom, I can just chunk them. I don't have to move my camera. When you're in fights, you don't want to move your camera too much. You guys can check that out by my other video, me explaining how to like hold shots and all that stuff. But yeah, that's pretty much it right here. So like you can see how easy it is. You can become a little bit faster if you want to. But those are the things you want to get used to first, the timing with the wall bounces, and then I'll show you my controller settings real quick. So like so I'll show you how to like get classic alternate on. So you're gonna want to go to control scheme. If you guys didn't know, it's usually gonna say, hold on, let me put this back on default. So it's going to show default. You're going to want to go to classic alternate, and that shows the settings and pretty much everything there. I'm going to show you like the button layout. So you see the only thing that really changes is so your X becomes Y. Your X becomes like your roadie. Your A becomes just your wall bounce. So it separates the two. That's why you don't miss roll unless you actually physically press the X button or the X paddle, whatever it may be. Your Y becomes your meat shield grabs, your weapon pickups, all that stuff. And then I'll show you right now real quick on my Xbox accessories and explain to you a little bit more in depth about that. Alright, so this is pretty much my Elite controller setup. I'll break down it all a little bit. So on the A button, that's the first thing I'm going to point out. I don't think I said this in the video part where I'm showing the wall bouncing. So on the video, so on my controller, I disabled the A button, the actual physical button. So when I was trying to get used to paddles, my fingers weren't used to it, and my muscle memory was to always press the actual A button. So I disabled that, so whenever I tried wall bouncing, I'd like force myself to use the paddle. So if I were to actually press the physical A button on the face of the controller, it would penalize me, and I wouldn't be able to actually wall bounce or do anything at all. So me disabling that made me like realize, all right, so if I do this, nothing's gonna ever happen. And I kept doing it, obviously, like it's gonna happen, like that. My fingers were naturally trying to go back to that A button, and that's just muscle memory. Eventually that'll go away, and like I don't ever press that A button anymore. So like earlier I said, on classic alternate, your pickups and your revives, all that stuff, your weapon pickups, meat shield pickups, all become Y. So I switched my Y button to X. So the reason I did that is because I'm naturally used to, like everybody's used to, if you're playing from default, you're coming from default, you pick up weapons, you do your revives with the actual X button. So I switched the Y to X. Well, you know what I mean. So like I put the X button to Y. So like anytime I press it, it's still like the same thing as default. So my fingers are used to that. So you can see on the left paddle and the right paddle, I have X and then A. So that's my button setup. So when you're ever seeing on the wall bouncing, all that stuff, I use the two small paddles on the left and the right, and they're kind of facing down. I don't use the big paddles. I don't like how those feel. I use the small ones. That's what I recommend. And then you can see on the left, I'll go in depth about this. On the actual left stick, so I have it on instant, and I bumped it up 1. So you can see the little line over here. So usually it starts right here, and then I have it bumped up to 1. This is just pretty much making controller a little bit more smooth, a little bit more instant. That's what it's called. So like with my left, well, that's why angle bounce, like you can see like the angle bounces, like I'm going left and right here. So up and down, you can see how my movements is. So like it's a lot smoother with this on. That's how I feel. Maybe it might be a mental thing, but I'm pretty sure it does make it smoother. It feels a lot smoother when you're wall bouncing. And then also on my triggers, I have this set to 0-1. So like as soon as like, all right, that's my, you can see that going up and down right there. So like when I don't press anything, it actually like shows it. So this is how like fast my trigger finger is. It can help it make your pistol a little bit faster. You can turn your trigger stops on, and it'll make your trigger finger, your pistols and all that stuff a little bit quicker. But if you don't have a fast trigger finger, it's not gonna just completely cure it, but it definitely can help if you have a fast one. So you can see like how fast I can shoot my triggers. That's pretty much it on the Elite controller. That's everything set up on there, and then I'm gonna show you guys real quick one last thing on my settings on the game. I didn't go into depth about it. So what my sense is 27, 27. Take a screenshot of this. 27, 27, 20, 10, 1, 1. So that's pretty much like, I don't like playing on 30s. It's way too fast for me. I used to play on it, but I like, more importantly, it's more important to hit shots, and I angle bounce now too. So like I said, I use my left stick to wall bounce, so I don't need to turn my screen really fast. 20 for the zoom sensitivity. This is for like when you double zoom into a mark set, double zoom into a pistol, double zoom into a sniper, all that stuff. So then 1-1 dead zone. This can vary depending how new or old your controller is. The newer the controller is, you can put this on 1-1. You have a older controller, you're probably gonna have to bump it up because it's probably gonna drift. So play with inverted y-axis on. You guys don't need to worry about that. Don't try it if you don't already. Omnidirectional on. That's for wall, like rolling. When you're rolling, you can roll at any angle. So if you want to roll in a certain angle, you can have that on, and you'll be able to do that. If you have it off, you can only do up, down, left, and right. So if you're like doing front, if you're like a front spawner, then you definitely want to have that turned on. And then like I said, classic alternate. But that's pretty much the end of the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Maybe it helped you guys out. Maybe you guys copy my settings. Maybe you guys learn anything from my controllers, accessories. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Leave a thumbs up, subscribe, share the channel. Hopefully you guys can actually share the channel. I'm trying to grow my YouTube channel as much as possible. But like I said, hopefully you guys enjoy it. Maybe you guys should tune into some of my streams. I'll go into a little bit more depth. If you have any questions or anything like that, or leave anything in the comment section, I'll try to answer them there as much as I can. Other than that, hopefully you guys have a good one. Appreciate you guys tuning in.